Hi everybody, it's time for a tarot reading. Thank you for spending this time with me. I want to spread my cards a little bit more. The Hierophant. Hey, look, the last reading I did had the Hierophant in it too, but it was in reverse. Temperance. The High Priestess. Okay, all major arcana, and I also drew the High Priestess earlier. The Emperor. 4 major arcana cards. Alright, you, whoever you are, this is a major reading for you. Okay, 4 major arcana cards came out for you. And look, the Emperor here has he's wearing like a bear fur, right? This is like the skull of a bear and then claws of a bear. And this reminds me of this whole debate right now of like man versus bear. Oh my god, it's... Hey. And I laugh, by the way, when I say this. And it's not because I'm like looking down on anybody, but I've kind of reached a point recently where I'm like, I respect you and I respect your sovereignty. I respect your ability to make decisions as to how you want to live your life and how you want to think, all your thoughts, emotions, and decisions. Like, whatever you want to do, I'm cool with it. Like, I'm fine on my own. Like, I don't... Like, I've kind of reached the point where I'm happy. And it doesn't matter if I'm surrounded by people who are unhappy or angry or bitter or whatever. Like, I'm happy. I'll continue to be happy regardless of what's going on around me. But it's just so strange to experience life in this current state because I see people getting mad over stuff like man versus bear. And I'm like, okay, that's what you want to do, then cool. It just feels like, I don't know, I'm like amused by it. And not in a bad way. I'm just like, it makes me think about like how people can live their lives in so many different ways. You know what I mean? Like, again, because I am on social media, of course, like you're watching me on social media right now, right? And so sometimes I do scroll and my feed is so interesting because I have, like people who rescue animals. I always seem to have that. Um, Probably because I like all those stuff, right? And then you have like people who are like, oh, if you apply your blush like this, then you look fat. Then if you apply your blush like this, you look like you have high cheekbones. And I'm like, girl, you're so pretty. I mean, cool, you want to do that, but like, you're so pretty. You don't need this, but if you want to do it, then go ahead. Then you have people who are angry about absolutely everything. I don't know where they get the energy to be angry about everything. I don't know. And it's just amazing, like all the different varieties of people that exist at the same time. It's amazing. Have you ever had that experience? Like you're just like, wow. Anyway, that might be weird. I'm sorry if that was weird for you, but let's go into the reading. This is only my second reading of the day, and I'm already a little loopy. So let's see how this goes. I just wanted to say these cards are so blue, and not just a regular type of blue, but they are like indigo, right? Which is the color of the chakra for your third eye. And you do have the eyes here, and even The circles here in the Temperance card, the, the circle and the High Priestess, they're kind of giving me that same energy of like, everything's going to be fine. What does that mean? It's like with the Hierophant card, this does mean a connection with the spiritual, right? A connection with the divine. If you have such a strong connection with God, universe, spirit, or the source, then you know that everything is unfolding as it should. Like you trust the evolution of your life. You understand that, it's like you can take a step back from whatever's happening today or right in front of you, and you can see the bigger picture. You're like, yeah, maybe things don't look that great right now, or it seems like there is stuff that's bad that's going on, but I know that in the overall scheme of things, everything's going to be okay. And the same thing with the Hierophant, because, the Hierophant, the High Priestess. Uh, the High Priestess is talking about a connection as well, but this is a connection with your subconscious, right? Your conscious mind, the stuff that does work, that has conversations with other people, that goes grocery shopping, right? Your conscious mind is very can I say short-sighted or excitable even? Um, it's like if you work, let's say if you're like a fry cook or like am I even saying the right things? Like, let's just say you work in a restaurant and you're making hamburgers, right? So your conscious mind is like focusing on the current order, like 2 cheeseburgers and fries, 1 cheeseburger, 1 hot dog, something like that. Like, there's a constant urgency to do things. And this is your conscious mind, right? You're just focused on what's happening right now in front of you, and it's constantly changing. And you have to keep up. Whereas when you have the High Priestess and you're connected with your subconscious doesn't give a shit really so much about the present, everyday things, right? There's, if like a lot of times the subconscious is depicted as the part of the iceberg that's beneath the surface, right? You have the conscious mind, the teeny tiny top of the iceberg, and then the bigger chunk of it that's under the water that you can't see is the subconscious. There's so much stuff swimming in there, and it's not really focused on whether you have to make 2 cheeseburgers and fries. It's focused on kind of bigger and deeper things. And so, again, it's not bothered by what happened 5 minutes ago. It might be like concerned with what happened in your childhood, like bigger themes in your life, but not not the immediate moment. And so with temperance, the imagery of temperance in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is an angel. So again, talking about like divinity, talking about, again, something bigger than yourself. And to me, the imagery, I was trying to think about what do the circles look like for me. They look like bubbles. So what does it mean? Like, if you're in a body of water, right? Like, let's say you're swimming on a lake and you see bubbles pop up to the surface. What does that mean? There's something underneath. You might not see it, but there's something underneath. So these 3 cards all together, and with that idea of mine that it's connected with a third eye, yeah, like a sense that You are seeing something beyond what other people see, something beyond the surface, beyond everybody's mundane everyday life. Huh. And then you have the Emperor card, which is like a completely different vibe, right? First of all, it's masculine energy. I don't think you can get a more macho looking card right here. The guy is like bare chested with like a bear, BARE chested and BEAR draped over him, right? What does the Emperor do? The Emperor is like very focused on the physical world. He is the master of the physical world, right? Like what I sense with you is you are doing your best in the physical, right? Like you're going to work or you're going to school and you're paying your bills and you're doing your chores. You're doing the stuff that pertains to the physical world, right? But inside you, there's something else going on. And so you're thinking, what's the point? This is a little similar to the reading I had immediately before this, which was talking about how, once you achieve like success in the physical world, you start asking yourself, is this it? Is there something more? And you start craving a connection with the spiritual. So in this case, it's like you can see the cards are outnumbered, like 3:1. So although you're doing stuff in the physical, right? Like again, like you're doing your career goals, you're going out with your friends, you're doing all these things that people expect you to do, right? But there's more. You already know it. You feel it very much. That there's more. And I wonder how that impacts your daily life. I wonder if you feel slightly disconnected from your daily life. Um, you know how in the movie Inception, they were trying to get, again, movie references. Hey. So in the movie Inception, Leonardo DiCaprio's character was looking for a chemist, right? Somebody who would create a really powerful sedative for him to do a dream within a dream within a dream. And they went to this like underground place that's supposed to resemble an opium den, right? There are these people that were dreaming for most of their lives, basically, right? For hours and hours and hours a day. They were dreaming. And so they asked, like, why do they do this? And then somebody says, and he was a great actor, and I know he's passed away already, but I think even then he was already in his 80s or 90s. Amazing. Like he had like just one line in the movie, but he was so impactful. And he said, they don't come here to go to sleep. They come here to be woken up. And I feel like that's what's happening with you. Like you feel like the spiritual aspect of your day, whatever it is, like when you're in meditation or when you're lucid dreaming or when you're praying, you feel like those moments maybe when you're alone or you're in a quiet contemplative state, you feel like those moments are more real than the moments when you're doing things out in the quote unquote real world. You're kind of becoming less interested in the stuff that most people do, and instead most of your attention is going towards um, your life lived within you, like with your feelings, with your thoughts, um, with your intuition. Yeah. So this might be off tangent, but gotta say it. This is the reason why, people, like people in society, right, caution many of us against being alone too much, because they're like, oh, being alone too much, it changes you. Of course, it does, because once you go inwards, you change, of course. Once you kind of disconnect from the physical stuff and the material world, you start realizing sometimes how kind of pointless it is, or pointless for you, by the way. Like, again, I'm not here to like uh, judge other people, like, why are you doing makeup tutorials? That doesn't matter, or something like that. Look, if it makes you happy, I'm happy you're doing it, right? I personally don't want to do it, but I support you and your desire to do it. And I hope you truly enjoy what you're doing, right? Again, it's your choice. It's your choice to do that. I support you. Like, I don't have to do the same thing you do, and you don't have to do the same thing I do. It's cool, right? But yeah, but you start looking at things differently. Um, yeah, you start looking at the drama, and you're like, no, I don't need to engage in this drama. I don't have to think about leveling up my skills. I don't have to think about where to go on vacation. I don't have to think about trying the top 5 street foods from a Singaporean hawker. I don't have to do any of that. I'm doing my own journeys within, rather than going out and traveling or going to meet other people. Yeah, I feel like this whole reading is talking about a deepening of your spirituality. Like, I talked about a leveling up before, but I was talking more of leveling up in your career. Whereas now, what it feels like with this reading is you're leveling up more in your commitment to spirituality. And I know that can be quite difficult because, like I said, the rules in society are very different from what now feels right, or what feels natural to you, or what you feel called to do right now as a spiritual being. You know, you might, like, what I feel could happen with you is because as you go more and more towards the spiritual and less towards the material, people will feel that, um, and people will respond to you accordingly. So in a way, you become more and more separate from them. Like, as you move away from them, it's kind of like a feedback loop. They also start separating from you. I wish I could spread cards nicely like that. I guess one day we will. Have faith in your dreams. Again, matching the color screen here, and then talking about dreams. Like, it's an inward world. It's an inner world. Uh, yeah, and if anybody is watching this and then thinking, I want to start lucid dreaming, you can, absolutely, right? The biggest thing for lucid dreaming is to set the intention that you want to dream, that you want to have lucid dreams, and to make the commitment to remember what your dreams are after you wake up, and it helps to write them down. Okay? Like, that's the most important thing. Also, it does help if you can sleep longer. So, was it in this reading, the previous one? I think it was this reading, right? Oh my god. Again, I'm loopy. I swear, I'm not sleepy. I'm just being a little weird. Um, I mentioned before that I'm not drinking caffeine anymore. So that has definitely changed the quality of my dreams. I feel like I had lucid dreams before that, but I feel like my ability to connect with the dreams is stronger now without the caffeine. So, but I know it's very hard to quit caffeine, believe me. So that's not for everyone. Well, what's important is you do get enough sleep because if you only sleep like 1 to 2 hours, as I used to, it's very hard to dream, right? Or at least it's hard to have lucid dreams. I'm sure you're dreaming, it's just you can't remember them. Yeah, and then make the commitment to remember your dream and to record them. Record them even if they're weird. Yeah, because dreams don't follow the same rules. Again, it's like ordinary life. And so you might be embarrassed by what comes out there, right? This is very much your subconscious coming to the surface, bubbling to the surface. You are connecting with the stuff deep underneath. Like if you picture the dark blue in here as like, you know, that kind of deep water that looks almost black, you're kind of sinking into that darkness during your dream and then you surface again when you wake up. So, yeah, the stuff down there don't follow the same rules as on the surface. So, don't be afraid if your dreams are a bit out there. Don't censor them. You're like, no, I shouldn't be doing this in the dream. Just accept the dream as it is, record it, and then eventually it's going to be easier for you to figure out what's going on in there. Yeah. If you're like me, and I think this is quite common, right? I think we used to lucid dream quite frequently as children, and then we kind of lose the ability as adults. So, one of my earliest memories was not memories of real life, but memories of lucid dreams when I was a kid. Believe in the impossible. Blue moon. Yeah. I think this is connected with what I just told you, right? Like, if you are receiving some sort of information through your subconscious, through your connection with the divine, if you have these kind of bubbles of knowledge or intuition from your subconscious coming up, believe it. Like, believe you do have the ability to tap into your subconscious. Because maybe there's also a part of you that's thinking, oh, maybe I'm just imagining all this. Dude, your imagination is also you connecting with something else, right? In the reading right before this, I was asking the question, where do our ideas come from? Like when you have that light bulb moment, like, and then you do something, and then it turns out to be right, or like you call your friend because you have the idea, like, I think I should call my friend. Then you call your friend, and your friend's like, I was just gonna talk to you. Like, if you were fully in the real world, right, you would be thinking, oh, that's just a coincidence. Mm, is it though? Because once you open yourself up to opportunities like that, then more and more of those opportunities will come out. Then you'll realize they're not coincidences at all. Believe in the impossible. I think that's something happening. Like, for you, what I feel like this means is that and this might be creepy for people, and that's okay, as you're reaching deep into those dark waters, right into your unconscious, as you're reaching down there, something is also reaching up to you. And that's how now you're kind of being opened up to all these things. The connection is getting stronger, and you're going to have more bubbles coming up. Like I said, the eye. Perhaps this is also like a sign that your third eye is opening up. Like you know, interesting times ahead. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on this reading. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, if this helped you, press the like button and let me know in the comments. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.